Show with Irish. Show with Irish. Show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody, to It's time to switch gears for everybody involved with Notre Dame football. I don't care if it's a recruit. I don't care if it's a player. I don't care if it's a coach. I do not care if it's you in your boxer briefs watching this show. It's time to switch gears into season mode. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm sorry. The football's coming up in me. The football's coming up. It's cooled off. You can sleep with the windows up and you wake up and the first thing I smell is football in the air, everybody. Football in the air. We got to get our minds right. Summer's over. Winning time is here and it is now. All right? Winning time is here and it's now. And we all got to get our minds right. We got phone calls already. I'm going to tell you guys something else. I'm going to give you, this is either going to be a great compliment or it's going to say that we're all messed up in the mind. I'm not sure which. However, I'm going to give the chat a lot of credit. We're all on the same wavelength, man. A lot of the things that I have, that I want to talk about on these chats, I log in here in the morning and you guys are already talking about them. You are right on point with a lot of the stuff that I want to touch on. And it's a beautiful thing. So let's get into it. Go over a couple of the super chats. We're going to get to the calls. Couple people here I haven't heard from in a while. I want to get to them. See where the anxiety level is. All right. We're going to do that. And we're going to get into this, but I'm just telling you guys, there's a switch that flips at a certain point, and I'm past that point, and you need to be too. Let's get into it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Obviously, you can find a program on YouTube. Do hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps me as well. Keep them notifications on. That way you alerted every time something rolls around in my brain that I want you to see. You don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar, always Irish rat. Always Irish Inc. The email's always irishnd@gmail.com. Oh, I want to let everybody know. I did get the emails from the people from when Pat was talking about the t-shirts. And if people donated, Pat would pick up the bill. We'll send you the shirts. The people who emailed me, I will email you each back individually. But just know I did get those messages. We're not ignoring you. You're on a list. And when Adam says, stop ending my summer. Adam, every single day you text message me about when summer going to be over. We need football. Come on, Adam. Adam, you're one of the worst ones all summer. Getting me worked up, ruining my 4th of July, breaking me bad recruiting news. Adam's over here, save my summer. Maybe he's just saying that because he bought a luxury boat. That must be what it is, Adam. You got that new boat. Now you want summer to go on forever. I see how it is. That's hilarious. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. Oh, I was going to say, I'll email each of you back individually with the plan and how we're going to coordinate that with the shirts and all that. Just know that I did get those emails and we didn't forget about you. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it in your ear hole. Call in lines 312-988-15. Tell Johnny all that you hope to hear and seen. Fighting Irish Wire. I'm worked up. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm worked up. Football's in the air. It's getting to me. And you got to understand where I'm coming from, bro. Understand where I'm coming from. I sit here now all summer and write articles for the paper every day about Notre Dame. Keep doing these shows all through the summer. We don't have no games to respond to or anything. And the rest of us lunatics that are addicted to Notre Dame, God bless you all for keeping me going all summer. The people that tune in all year, even when there's no football, I love you. You're my peoples. And it's just all summer. What is this going to be? How good can we be? What's it going to look like? All these questions. It's finally here. We're going to get answers. Football answers. I'm getting worked up. I need football. I need to see what it's going to be, damn it. Notre Dame flying under the radar. Flying under the radar. Not even showing up on the top 10 biggest games of the year list. Oh, it's all the Big Ten. Hype up Penn State. Notre Dame ain't getting no love, and I love it. Fly under that radar and just keep your head down and win the game in front of you until nobody can ignore you. Just keep winning. All right. I got to calm down. 9:06. Already ranting. It's 9:06. So let's do a couple of the chats, and then we're going to get to the calls because I haven't heard from a couple of these people. I want to hear what you guys think. And then and we'll go from there. There's the Domer Guy 88, Irish Nation. Let's paint the house rock built green on September 23rd. No more red takeovers. For the 900th time in a row, I am going to say this. When this comes up, this message every day, which I appreciate, to remind our fans to be heard and seen. Don't sell your tickets to the other team, all right? That's the plan. But whenever I see this message, one thing comes to my mind. You cannot lose a game before September 23rd. I've been talking to Notre Dame people the last few days, other media people that did. And the one thing we're all saying is, no, for any of this to work at all, for Notre Dame to have anything close to the year we want them to have, you got to be 4-0 going to Iowa State. It's not up for debate. It's not like, well, maybe you could lose one before then and then make it work. No, you can't. You just can't this year. The schedule doesn't allow it. Okay? This is not Brian Kelly's last year where the toughest game you had was Cincinnati at home. This ain't that. By the way, he couldn't handle that, by the way. It was too much for him. Couldn't handle that. The powerhouse that's Cincinnati, the way they recruit those 5 stars one after the next. And then they came into your place and just overtook it. Kelly couldn't handle that. It was too much for him, all right? Too much for him. He was already planning, must have been planning his Mardi Gras party, getting his beads lined up. Too much for him. This ain't that. This schedule ain't that. You can't afford it. 4-0. It's got to be. Just 100% flat up. 4-0. If you lose a game before then, you're looking at 8-4 all over again. I'm calling it now. If we're such a mess, you're losing any of those first 4 games, I have no faith in you in the marquee 3. I just don't. Sorry. You got to be 4-0 for any of this to get off the ground, damn it. And you can't go 4-0 till you go 1-0, and then 2-0, and then 3-0, and 4-0. And then we see what's up against Ohio State. Here's the other thing. Man, I really wasn't planning on going off like this, but now that we're here, we may as well lean into the full Always Irish in-season mode. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's head down this path. I'm getting sick of these Ohio State people already. I'm sorry. I'm getting sick of them. There's a couple of them that are in here that are very nice and that call me an email that I consider friends now, that are actually nice people. The rest of these Ohio State people on Twitter could go to hell. Who in the hell are Ohio State people to be talking down to everybody like they're the best everything and they own the Big Ten and everything? You don't even own the Big Ten. Why are Ohio State people running their mouths like they're awesome? You don't even own the Big Ten. You don't. So I don't know where the arrogance is coming from. You should have your tail between your legs. You gave up the Big Ten crown to Michigan. You don't even own the Big Ten. And these people are acting and talking like they're the best team in the country. You don't even own your own stupid conference. Worry about that. It would be different if they're a playoff team every year and the Michigan stuff didn't happen the way it's happened the last 2 years to them. And they're making the playoff every year, top 3 recruited classes every year, and they're kicking the shit out of Michigan, winning the Big Ten every year. That's different. That ain't what's going on. So I think they need to tone it down a little bit. Can't even beat Michigan. Not even close. Michigan beat the hell out of them 2 years, and they're running around online acting like they've been winning a Super Bowl. Can't even beat your rival, win your conference. Try worrying about that first. Unbelievable. Domer guy. This is a good one. John, are you doing Friday night shows and game weeks? Sometimes. Here is my answer to that. I am not comfortable promising that I'm going to be able to go live every Friday night and every Saturday after the game all fall. I do have a family. I do have a 3-year-old kid. Like, I cannot promise every single weekend I'm available Friday night and Saturday night to stream. But we're going to do most of the games. I think most of them, that'll work out. Maybe one a month. I need to actually take the family out to dinner and like do some stuff. Because once the season starts with what I'm doing for work now, it's 7 days a week. There are no days off. There is work to do during the week, and then Saturday and Sundays are the busiest days. So there are no days off for the next 6 months once we get going. I might need some of those Friday nights to be with the family, and I'm sure you guys can understand that. That being said, yeah, we're going to go live Friday night before the Navy game, and then we'll just kind of go from there. But we're definitely going live the Friday before the first game, and then we're going to go live 1 minute after the Notre Dame game on Saturday. So for week 1, we're doing that for sure. I just can't promise every single one. Maybe I'll take one off a month to be able to be with the family a little bit on a weekend because it ain't going to happen once these games get going. Patrick Cotter, good morning to you. Would be a beautiful day out at that golf course you play, Pat. I wish you were out there instead of with me here. I'm happy to have you here. I love you. I'm just saying for you, I wish you were out golfing. It'd be a beautiful morning out there, man. Little dew on the grass. Oh, baby, football's here. Fall is here. Pat with the $5 hour that I appreciate very much. Morning, John and the Always Irish family. I'll try to connect with you in the second hour to discuss the 23 adventure known as Notre Dame football. I appreciate it, Pat. Appreciate it. Jay, what's going on? Jay's got to connect with Dr. John, figure out the Ireland plans. I gave them the information. They'll be able to connect. Jay, safe travels, my friend. Bob, Kelly, Brian's younger brother. Greetings, John. 57 days to USC. Need a rumble in the tunnel. Going to the pit game. It'll be all blue and gold that game. Yeah, for sure. Both ways. I'm telling you guys, you're in my brain, and I don't know whether that's good or bad for any of us. You are in my brain, and that might be scary for your mental health. I got some things coming up about rumble in the tunnel, getting your mind right for battle. There'll be something coming out on YouTube for that. I'm all about creating vibes, and I like some of those YouTube shorts I do. They're not overly complicated, some of them, but I want to get people in the right mind space. That's what I try and do building up to this season. Post certain things to just kind of get people's gears going, kind of jumpstart that emotion. And you're going to have something coming up about a rumble in the tunnel, Bob. It's funny to me that you bring that up since I just made something I'll post on that. Oh, man. Eric, it's good to see you. A wise man once said, one bad day and your dreams could be ruined, especially in college football. That's why it's the best regular season in all of sports. You only get 12 of them. Each one is do or die. You do not have, especially if you're Notre Dame and is an independent, you do not have the luxury to not show up one day. Your whole season could be ruined in one afternoon if you not doing what you got to do. Callers, I'm coming right to you. Getting done with the chats. Mikey pulls my security guard. Good morning to our intrepid leader, John. Did you see the reports that FSU's hiring JP Morgan Chase to raise private equity money for a potential ACC buyout? Up to $300 million. Yeah, they really want out of the they really want out. Yeah, of the ACC. I'm thinking of them getting out of the ACC and Stanford begging to get in. Like that's just where you're at in life, man. Not that the ACC isn't good enough for Florida State, and you got Stanford begging to get in. I mean, it's just kind of where we're at. I think it's a little wild once you get. I started seeing like you need to get that Saudi money. You got to get that Saudi oil money over there, like the Live Golf Tournament. Have them be the Florida State sponsor. They got the money. Kick them in a percentage of your TV deal, and that Saudi private equity or whatever, they'll pay you with that oil money, baby. Oh, man. Yeah, see, this is what I was referencing. I've heard that Stanford and Cal now have momentum in their favor to join the ACC. Apparently, NC State is the flip, though. I mean, for Notre Dame's purposes, if you still plan on playing Stanford every year, isn't it in our advantage then that they go into the ACC, because that already goes in with our schedule formatting anyways, being a part kind of having an agreement to play a handful of games with the ACC. And then if you want to play Stanford every year, at least that keeps them in a Power 5. I'm not playing Stanford every year if they have to drop down and join the Mountain West or whatever else that I don't even know what conferences are out that way that aren't major. I don't know, but I'm not interested in playing them if they're not even a Power 5. Sorry. God, it just makes me remember. Do you remember when Andrew Luck was there and they were just piling it on us and they were legitimately good, and how upsetting that was? There was that window of time where Stanford was like beating Notre Dame out for the best tight ends and the best smart tight ends and the best smart offensive linemen. There were a couple years there where Notre Dame was losing those battles to Stanford, and I was losing my mind saying, if you can't even be the best smart school, you're screwed. You are screwed. When you can't out-recruit Stanford for the best smart guys, it's a big red flag. You got problems. Unbelievably unacceptable. But that's what happened for a while, and I was losing my freaking mind. Losing it. The format, the mouth down south, Bruce down there. I believe Bruce is actually a Navy veteran, if I remember correctly, and I thank him for his service, but I need Notre Dame to beat his old mates, that's for sure. Morning, team, getting closer. I'm becoming more intrigued by this Navy game. It'll be decidedly more difficult to prep without film. There will be new wrinkles if their OC is smart. Yeah, Bruce, that's all a part of it, what's in the mix here. I am not going to overblow analyzing Navy and act like they are world beaters. They are not. We know they're undermanned. We know they're undersized. We know they're under-talented. That's not how Notre Dame beat. That's not how Navy beats teams that they beat. Okay, and so there are advantages to Notre Dame having all this time and run up to prep for Navy. And maybe Navy feels like there's advantages on their end by having this window of time with no film, with this new coach. They're talking about maybe playing two quarterbacks. Notre Dame, keeping Notre Dame wondering what they're going to get. And so it's going to be really interesting. The years Notre Dame is properly prepared, they handle Navy easily. And if they don't, they don't. And it's a red flag of where we're at. Okay. C. Jones. Mike Jones, brother. Morning, John. Priority focus today. Beat Navy convincingly. You're on to my bullet points. It's like you're reading my notes. What's going on here? Mark with glasses with another gem YouTube short that he made featuring yours truly. Appreciate you, Mark. Game's about to start, but realignment won't quit. Just saw Stanford and Cal will give up a couple years of media rights to join the ACC. When will it all end? I mean, if you think about it, maybe they're just doing the math and they're looking 5-10 years down the road, 15-20 years down the road. And that money that you're going to lose in the short term will be worth it on the back end, I guess. But what I really want to bring up is, for all the smart people out at Stanford, they dropped the ball on this. And you know what I think it is? I think so much of Stanford's about the academics and all that, kind of a little bit of the Notre Dame football's below us type vibe from those in charge. That's what I sense and feel. And they got burned. They got burned, and that's what they deserve. You got a bunch of pencil-pushing nerds out there in Silicon Valley or wherever, and everybody's worried about the academics, and they forgot that this football revenue drives a lot of what's going on. And you gotta get ahead of that curve, not be chasing it. So it's a bad look for Stanford. Look at what we got going on here, folks. Of the smart schools, Vanderbilt can't even play their home opener because their stadium renovation is not done. Stanford realized they don't have a home too late. Navy is doing naked jumping jacks for fall camp. Okay. And then you got Duke, who actually has things going pretty good. By the way, they have a Notre Dame guy running it. And then you have what Notre Dame's doing. But it's ultra ironic to me to have all these smart schools and all their leadership are dummies and drop the ball on all this stuff. All of it. So, all you guys are all smart and have all that credibility and all these brains and no common sense to read the room in front of you. So, I mean, these people are setting their own schools up to fail, and they all drop the ball in different ways, and it cracks me up. Not my freaking problem. Not my problem. Okay? Pat, give it a thumbs up. He said 13 people. That must have been a half hour ago. Give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, I don't know why you're here. Oh, boy. What else we have on the chats? Couple super chats, then we'll get to your calls. Oh, here we go. This is Mikey. Mikey's always in my head. Rodney, hit me back in a little bit when you're available. Sorry, bud. Hit me back. I want to talk to you. Back on the topic of ND, Christian Gray looks good. 937, I got you too. 618. Christian Gray looks good. Wild that he won't be starting because of how deep the corners are. I'm going to tell you, I've been talking about that blue chip ratio, starting to get more quality depth without huge drop off in performance. Christian Gray is a guy most of the recent past would have had to start and play right away because you would have needed an athletic guy even without experience back there because we're begging for bodies and he's an athletic guy. And you got to play him because you don't have any other athletic options. It is a great benefit that Notre Dame doesn't feel obligated that they have to play this guy. This is what's starting to change within the program. Notre Dame's starting to get more real depth where they can afford to build these guys up and not push them too early. Now, if they're totally ready early and they win the job, that's different. That's different than playing guys out of desperation, out of need. That's different. Playing Kurt Hinish right when he was young and had to go in that, not the best situation for him, but Notre Dame needed it. Needed it. Okay? Like stuff like that. Wide receivers this year, I think it might be both. I think it might be necessity and they're earning it. I think you might have a blend there of you need guys step up and these guys are kind of stepping up. So that's how I see that. Angela Rudiger, it's always good. It smells like a Rudiger in the fall. I don't know what else to say. Just the whole football Notre Dame thing. And it just, I love it. I love it. Yeah, Jeremy, I can feel football in the air. Isn't it beautiful? It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, my gosh. Joel Easton. I know those recent ND state-run media clips of wide receivers versus DBs were impressive and such. But can we acknowledge that somehow the wide receivers have learned release packages? Breathtaking. Yeah, I want to see these guys if they could get off against the marquee three. Once you got some real athletes back there is what I want to see. We got a $5 holler from the V1 Rotate V2. If ND somehow drops the game against Navy in front of the whole country at 2 continents, I don't think I'll be able to take it. Oh, boy. What do you think the post-game show would be like on Always Irish's channel if they drop an anchor right on our head to begin the year? Pun intended. Pun intended. Chief Brody, it's good to see you, Chief. Irish not. You better not to mention it again. Cole Mendenhall, Domer Wap. What up with everybody? Bleeberg, what do we got? My wife threatens divorce every Saturday for the next couple months. I'm open. My wife threatens divorce every Saturday for the next couple months. I'm hoping she finally follows through this year. That's beautiful. Just be over obnoxious. Drink 8 beers with breakfast in the morning and it just make it really unbearable. And then maybe one day she'll go, I'm going shopping, and she just won't come back. She just won't come back. You'll both be happier and you can just live in football stress the rest of your life. Oh my God, that's a funny one. That is a funny one. Let's get a couple more super chats. Yeah, look at this. John, if we beat Ohio State, do we get there? I think that's fair. The University of Notre Dame, and it isn't the, and it's not big capital T and then small H and E. It's the University of Notre Dame. Don't make me do it again, the Ohio State rant. What do you mean, the? It's Ohio State. Everybody's a the or a the. You are not special. It's Ohio State, just like it's Michigan State, just like it's Florida State, just like it's any state. You don't own the word the. Get over yourself. Okay? Get over it. Chief, NC State does concern me a little bit, but I don't imagine they could be all that better than Carolina was last year. I actually think NC State should take a little step back, but it all depends on how ready we are. It's all about us and how ready we are. New sound system being installed this afternoon. Can't wait to hear Johnny blasting on a Sonos sound system. I sound the alarms. I don't know if that's good for anybody. We got a $14 holler, a $14 for every Notre Dame win this year. I'll be at the USC game. I've already painted my nails. Good. Yeah, you're getting ready. I like that. I like that. Oh, Michael Rudiger. The only thing better than having one Rudiger in the chat's having double Rudigers. Need to be undefeated going into the Ohio State game. 100%. Absolutely. Got to have it. Need to have it. Want to be it. Got to see it. Okay. There ain't no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Oh, the call-in lines are open today. I got to get to them. Captain John, I just got my parking tickets in the North lot for the Central Michigan game. Where will the tailgate be? Paul, I have very, very good news for you, my friend. The tailgate's going to be in the North lot for the Central Michigan game. I wanted to avoid the stadium. Little too crowded. We got a bunch of spots in the North lot. You're in the right spot, buddy. In fact, if you're going to be in the North lot, maybe you should email me so we could get on the same page so you can park with us. So we have a big line of cars in a row with a whole bunch of spots in a row to where it could be our spot. But that's convenient because we're going to be in the North lot as well. So you're in a good spot. You did that right. You guessed that one right. $2 holler from the Delmer Wap. Northwestern on line 2. Oh, yeah. I'm doing the naked jumping jacks and making sure that the center bends over his fat, cracked, naked. And we practice those snaps. That's what builds team camaraderie, you guys. Didn't you know that at a smart school like Northwestern with all the brains and all the stuff? They're so smart. The only way you can learn your plays as quarterback is looking at your 310-pound centers, Harry Crack, all summer. You people are sick. Jesus, I don't understand. You're sick. You want to make the freshmen carry pads or shave their head or sing dumb karaoke? Go for it. Leave the nude calisthenics out of it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. Let me make sure we're caught up on the donations, and then we're going to go to the calls. People have thoughts today. Here's the other thing I got to announce, you guys, and you need to understand this. And I need to do a better job of this. I am not trying to be a jerk. Now that we're in this season, most days, everybody's going to have less time to talk on the phone. I have got to do a better job of keeping it moving, getting people in that have been waiting a long time for me to talk and then everybody else to talk. I got to do a better job of moving it along. The more people that call, the quicker you got to be so I can be fair and get through them. So I'm just letting people know that this ain't a lazy Monday in May where you could have 25 minutes because the phone lines aren't jammed and you can empty out your mind. It isn't going to be able to be like that. It's going to be more like a radio show you hear on AM sports radio. You get a couple minutes to go over your main points, and we got to keep it moving. Everybody needs to understand that. And it's not disrespect, or I'm not trying to cut anybody off. It's just for timing. A better radio show has 20 callers that all get in their main points, and we keep it moving a little bit. Keep that in mind, you guys. Not trying to be a jerk. I think we hit, I don't want to miss Phil. Phil's the man. Johnny, chill. Everything is going to be all right. That's a $2 holler from the Philly special. Here's the problem, Phil. You know, every time I believe that about Notre Dame, it's blown up in our faces. You know, there's a lot of scar tissue when you're my age and you miss the championship window. I haven't even seen Notre Dame win a major bowl game that I can remember in my cognizant existence, all right? Everybody's got to forgive me. If you're in my age range, it's been a rough run as a Notre Dame fan. No season has ever ended with me happy, ever. Ever. I don't know how old some of you guys are, but I mean that. I missed the title window, and our last bowl game, I was under 10, major bowl win, I was under 10 years old. I literally cannot remember one Notre Dame season that has ended with me being happy or content or in a good mood or feeling satisfied or feeling like we proved something to the nation. Never. It's never happened in Johnny's existence, ever. When I say ever, I mean ever. Oh, John, what about when we beat LSU in that bowl game on the last drive or whatever? Are you serious? Yeah, we won that ball game, but we were in an embarrassing bowl. Like, that's not good enough. It doesn't do anything for me for you to win a lower level bowl game. Then I'm just mad you're in a lower level bowl game. Nobody better come at me with that. Oh, what do you mean, John? We beat South Carolina last year. Yeah, in an embarrassing bowl game. What do you mean? You lost 4 games, bro. Nothing you do in the bowl game changes the national narrative. You lost 4 games. Get serious. Have standards. Winning a 4-loss bowl game is not my standard that moves the needle for Notre Dame. And by the way, here's the other thing. This isn't about me. This is about national respect. It isn't just about what Johnny wants. One of these years, I want the year to end with people respecting Notre Dame. That never happens. That's a big problem for me. It never happens. Never. Just one time I'd like to go into the offseason and Notre Dame has national respect. You don't get that winning a 4-loss bowl game. I'm sorry. All right? Oh, boy. Getting worked up. Don't let me do that to you, Brad. Johnny just put me in a dark place after hearing that bowl drought. I'm just telling you guys, I'm just giving you the reality. I'm just giving you the reality, man. I don't know what else to tell you. Look at this. Chris, we were spoiled as kids, John. Born in 84, went to Purdue in Miami as my first games in 88. Expectations were set high from a young age, 88 to 93. John, I was born in 84 too, but even if you went to the Miami game in 88, you don't remember it. Like, does that count? Like, I know you were there, but it's not like being 20 when you could process what the big moment was. Like, I was born in 84 too, but we're like the last group that has a tie to us being elite. I was talking to my dad about that. We are the last age group that has any tie to even when we were elite. And it gets very, very dangerous when you lose that tie. Think about the generations, you guys. My grandpa with Leahy and all that winning, and then my dad having the 70s and then 88 and all that. It gets dangerous when you skip a generation that has no tie to being elite. That's dangerous for Notre Dame. And that's where the people younger than me are. Standards get lowered. They do. You end up with a bunch of 20-year-olds that only remember Brian Kelly. The standards just dropped because all they know is good Brian Kelly years, not good years overall. Good Brian Kelly years are different than good Notre Dame years. That's the issue, you guys. That's the danger. You're about to lose that last connection to when we were elite, and that is danger. That is dangerous. There's just a drop. If we get to the point where the younger part of the fan base, all they know is the Brian Kelly years, I am very concerned because there ain't no elite there at all. Those people have no barometer of what Notre Dame should look like at all. They have no feel of what Notre Dame should feel like at all. Those people younger than me have no connection to Notre Dame being elite at all. That is danger. Oh my God, that's danger. I hate that. It's scary. Oh, we got a $5 holler from the 224. You know the rules. You donate money, you get to jump the line. That's called capitalism, folks. We got a bunch of calls today. Everybody's going to have to make it quicker. Andrew, and then everybody else. What's going on, Andrew?
Hey, what's going on, John? How are you?
I'm getting worked up, buddy. I'm getting worked up. We are about to get some answers to our major questions, and I am getting all worked up inside. Where are you at?
Well, it's funny. I kind of think I'm similar to you in terms of as a Notre Dame fan. Over the last few years, I've really followed Notre Dame media, and I kind of get tired of Notre Dame media at this point in the year because it's just all puff pieces in training camp, and you just really kind of want to see them play because we really don't know if this team is as good as like the Notre Dame media says. So like what I would say is I'm cautiously optimistic about the year, but I think the entire year hinges on if Hartman is really the dude or not. Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that, all right, first thing is the media part of this. I struggle with that too, because all you have to go by are those limited media viewing windows that are very limited, sometimes only like a 15-minute viewing window in a practice or whatever. And then you get the reports and whatever. But it's like, I get what you mean about the puff pieces. However, don't you think that it would be professionally like unacceptable for those guys to pump up Notre Dame so much if they really don't believe it? Like, don't they lose credibility if they tell us all summer in camp the defense looks great? What if they go in there and play terrible? Like, isn't there risk in those guys blowing it up? Even though I know that you want clicks and you want to say the team's excited to build engagement. I realize that's their business. I'm halfway in it too. But what do they get out of the puffing it up if it blows up?
Yeah, but you know what? I think that I don't know if they realize this or not, if it's a conscious thing, but they're only as good as their last headline. So, like, remember the Peyton, or what was it, Peyton Bowen, the recruiting? They for months and months and months, people were saying, "Hey, he's definitely committed to Notre Dame," and then the guy flips at the end, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he was going to go to Oklahoma the whole time." So it's like, I don't know. I just think Notre Dame media, to a certain extent, the one exception would be Mike Singer, but to a certain extent, Notre Dame media sort of just writes whatever the coaches tell them to write.
Well, Andrew, let me tell you this, Andrew. I believe I am at the point with USA Today Irish Wire where I could get in the mix for media access. And that is something that I think I'm going to ramp up and maybe try and get to a home game and do that in the press box. And then I'm thinking maybe for spring ball, I will be able to get credentialed for USA Today and be in there. And then I'll be in that scrum and I'll be able to record a little footage and I'll be able to get a feel of what's going on. So then we'll see where I'm at that point, Andrew. Maybe I can balance some of that out. We'll see, but I hope to get there. And I think that's where we're headed. So that'll be interesting.
Well, all I would say for you as a piece of advice is a lot of, and I'm not a reporter, but I follow news and stuff like that. But the reporters who get the best scoops are the ones that ask the hardest questions, because the important people want to get those reporters on their side. And so I think you'd be good at that, because you would ask hard questions. So, but hey, on Notre Dame football, I'm cautiously optimistic. The points where I'm worried about are, and then I'll let you get to your other callers, because I know you got a bunch on there, are defensive end. I don't buy what the Notre Dame media is saying, that we're stacked on the D line. I need to see it to believe it. You can't just replace 10.5 sacks. And it's like crazy how Notre Dame media and also Notre Dame fans just sort of gloss over past talent. Like, they kind of act like Bosky just racked up a bunch of sacks against loser teams, but he was getting double teamed by every team he played last year. And he still got 10.5 sacks. And even in his poor performance against USC, where he just could not tackle Caleb Williams, he still got 1.5 sacks in that game. And he was all over Caleb Williams. So it's like, we're saying that we're going to replace that. I'd like to see it to believe it. I hope that's true. But bringing in an outcast from Ohio State and Riley Mills or whatever, or Botello, who didn't even see the field last year.
Here it is.
I'd like to see it to believe it. And then
here it is, Andrew.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hopefully optimistic, but also I got to see it to believe it. Like, that's where I'm at with this, especially on the defense, where I have I went into the offseason with questions about the defense and the defensive front. Really, I had questions on all levels. And then I heard that they dominated most of the camp, and they got a bigger, better rotation, all of this. Fine. I'm excited about it, but you got to prove it before I believe it. And that's why we're all losing our minds the last week, because you just want to know where the reality is between what you're worried about, what's being reported, and what's going to happen. And we just need an answer. I need an answer.
And what I would say to you is Notre Dame ended up making an adjustment last year to force turnovers. But I remember at the beginning of the year last year, everybody was saying, like, there's something missing with our defense. What is missing? Like, why aren't we getting turnovers? And the missing piece was Kyle Hamilton went pro. Like, when you lose a first-round talent off your defense, that's a big something is missing, okay? And so eventually they adjusted, and, obviously Morrison went off. But Bosky is a first round talent. I get that he was picked in the second round, but a lot of drafts had him going first round. So that is not an easy guy to replace. So I'd like to see it to believe it. The other thing that's frustrating to me, if you read between the Notre Dame reporting, is like, why is Merriweather having such a hard time understanding the play calling? Like, to me, it's either he's really not that talented and you have to, like, they feel the need to have to scheme him open. And so that's why he has to, like, memorize all these ridiculous, like, route trees, or they're overthinking this. You know what I mean? Cause like last year, Tennessee beat Alabama and Jalen Hyatt had 5 freaking touchdowns against Alabama. And I read that basically all Jalen Hyatt did that entire game was run post routes. And he was so freaking fast that they could not cover him. Yeah. So what's the deal? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he's talented, why are you making it so complicated? Just tell him to go out and run post route.
Yeah.
Do you agree? It's ridiculous.
It's weird that up and down in the practices, you hear up and down Merriweather need to find that consistency. He's that deep, but that big body deep threat that can loosen everything up. I've heard all of that. And also, they're going to give him every chance, every opportunity. The staff really wants him to be that guy and fill that role. And it's, where do you draw the line of, you got to get up to speed and be able to do everything we need you to do, versus we need to pare it back so we could get out of him what we can without overwhelming him. So do you need to simplify what he needs to do? Like there's a tipping point there where you want him to be way more developed. Like I don't know how you balance that.
Well, where I'm coming from is, why does the wide receiver have to be the offensive coordinator, know every single check down and, you know, whatever? It's like, if you've got talent, just you honestly, if you got talent, like I played in high school against Reggie Bush. What they would do is I'm not even kidding around, in high school, they would just pitch Reggie Bush the ball. It was not even really any schemed play or anything like that. They would just pitch him the ball and he would just run around the field, and
that was it. That was all you needed, because he was just that dude. He was just that dude.
That is it.
Yeah.
That's it. And so I guess that college football is a lot more skilled, but if Merriweather is really the dude, why are you stressing him out by having him learn every blocking assignment, every zone read and stuff like that? Just freaking have him run 3 routes. But if he's not, that's where I'm like, maybe this he's overhyped. Maybe he's not really the dude. He doesn't get separation. So that's the concern. It's like, it's defensive end. It's wide receiver. It took Tommy Rees, for some god-awful reason, to figure out 4 weeks into the year that wide receiver was god-awful and you need to not throw to them anymore and just run the football and throw to the tight end.
Yeah.
So I really hope that the new offense coordinator has a feel of what the wide receiver situation is all about. And if it stinks, you've got to pivot. So that's the one. So that's the unknown. That's why I'm cautiously optimistic, because I like Hartman, but I don't know about the wide receivers. And then finally, running back. It's like the one missing piece that Audric Estime doesn't have is home run hitting ability. If you look at the last 2 really awesome Notre Dame running backs were Josh Adams and Kyron Williams. And those dudes ran 80, 90-yard touchdowns sometimes. And the reason why I bring that up is, when they did that, they were back-breaking touchdowns. It was like game over. It was like usually in the second or third quarter, maybe we were up by 7 points or 10 points, then they hit an 80, 90-yard run, game's over. So it's like, does Estime have that speed? If he doesn't have that speed, then you've got to feature Jadarian Price more, because we need to have that home run hitting ability, especially if we don't have that from our wide receiver.
Andrew, I think it's a matter of chunk plays. Balancing that thunder and lightning. Like, you know that he's that thunder, and then I think you need that 1-2 punch, and then you have that lightning. Because I do get what you're saying. And then with the quarterback wide receiver dynamic, I am confident that Hartman isn't going to hold this. If this offense isn't what we want it to be, I don't think it's going to be Hartman's fault. I think it would be more likely to be breakdowns in the interior O-line against the better teams we play, and that's a problem. And or those wide receivers, they're just young and athletic, a bunch of them, but they're not polished enough to get off and be able to do what you need to do to win your matchups in an elite level competitive game. That's what I'm worried about. But Andrew, we just need answers.
I think if the wide receivers, if the wide receivers aren't good, I'm putting it on the coaching staff, because if we're led to believe that they've been doing such a great job recruiting over the last couple cycles, it's like you've got talent, you've got to be able to use it. That was my biggest issue with Tommy Rees, was like I didn't even think his play calling was bad, because he got criticized a lot for that. It was like he didn't utilize talent the right way, I felt. Like Chris Tyree, how do you not get more out of the fastest guy on your team?
Yeah.
How are you running crossing routes with Michael Mayer and not with Braden Lindsey or Avery Davis, the guys who were like fast and like if gone into the open field, it could be gone. It was bizarre to me. But so yeah, I would just leave it at that. I'll let you take other callers, but I think it's all about wide receiver play. It's all about defensive end. Can we actually get pressure or not? I'm not buying what fall camp reports are saying. You got to see it to believe it. And then Audric Estime, it's like, dude, we've been talking about you for 3-4 years. You had a decent year last year, but your biggest run last year was a 40-yard run that you didn't even break for a touchdown. We can't win games by nickel and diming it down the field. Who's going to be the big playmaker on the offense? That someone's got to step up. So.
All right. Hey, Hey, man, I just love the Notre Dame anxieties that we all have. And we're going to get answers to a lot of these questions. And we'll see how it goes, man. Andrew, I want you to enjoy your last weekend before all this officially gets started. Do something fun. Get away from football. Go for a walk in the woods. Go fishing. Do something. Go golfing. I need you to do something totally non-football related until the next 6 months of your life gets ruined, okay?
Nice. I'm in San Diego right now, and we're about to get hit by a hurricane. So
there you go. Why don't you worry about?
So,
if you worry about that, it'll put things in perspective. Be safe out there for real. Thanks for calling me, buddy.
Hey, thanks, John.
See you, man.
See ya.
Oh, Andrew's always got a lot to say. I had another super chat right back to the calls. What was this? It's Rodney. It's football time in the city. You know what, guys? I believe high school football starts tonight. Friday Night Lights. They're back in action, baby. Back in action. What's wrong with my mouse? Where'd it go? 937. It's like being in heaven. What's going on today?
What's going on, John? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear. I appreciate the clarity on the phone line. What's on your mind, my friend? I'm getting all worked up. Where are you at on all this?
Well, I mean, obviously we're in the part of the season where I have fully rose-colored glasses on until kickoff, right? Then it completely changes.
Yeah.
To anxiety and angst when we don't score a touchdown on the first play of the first drive.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Or you know what gets me, man? Like the first down we give up on defense every year. I'm mad. I'm like, there it is. You're giving up a first down on that dumb play.
They're
like
terrible.
Yeah,
they're terrible.
Exactly.
Al Golden needs to be fired.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, two different kind of segments of a thought. First one is a bit petty and bitterness.
Oh, wait a second. No, I can't allow anything petty and bitter on this show. I never go down those paths, buddy. Why don't you? Yeah, we don't do that here.
One time, I would just like the season as a whole in the landscape of college football.
I know where this is going.
Just to freaking go our way.
Yeah.
One, I want Brian Kelly to lose every game that they play.
Especially, week 1 against Florida State. I need it. I need him to take that L against Florida State week 1.
Every single person that has left this program, Tommy Reese to fail, Logan Diggs to fail, I want all of them. I don't care. That's bitter and petty, but I want them to fail.
You're either with us or against us.
Well, their success echoes the sentiment that we suck.
Yeah, I get that. And you know what, man? I'm going to be you know what the biggest one is? The biggest one that I'm going to be mad about is Reese. Because if Reese has a good offense at Alabama and they average 50 points or whatever, I am going to hear, see, John, you were mad at Tommy, but now he's doing great, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to say, we didn't get it at our place. And if you want to blame the talent, he's a part of the reason we didn't get the talent. And if you want to talk about the quarterbacks, he's a part of the reason none of them developed. So there's not a bunch of excuses there. There's not a bunch of excuses. And the other thing is, Tommy said last week, my offense is going to look different now because I don't have to fit square pegs in round holes at Alabama because the talent's different. That is not a flex. That tells me you weren't adjusting your Notre Dame offense to what the guys were capable of. That's bad coaching too, then. So either way it goes, I got a problem.
Exactly. And also, I was listening to Andrew's call, and while he has this overtone of doom and gloom, which I respect, I really do. See it to believe it.
Yeah.
Those things are all,
buddy,
completely valid.
Man, you gotta sometimes you gotta protect your Notre Dame emotions. Like we have been burned a lot, and sometimes I have to recalibrate and go exactly where I'm at and rein it in. Who am I to get overly excited and hyped about Notre Dame? We have not earned that hype. And so it's a wild thing. Keep going. I like this.
But but my feeling of optimism this year is that this is the first time that we have talent at all. Okay, you could nitpick here and there, but we have the talent, that the one piece that we have been missing for a decade is we've been trotting out mid-level, borderline, MAC quarterbacks every year, and we're expected to say, hey, this is the guy that's going to lead us to a playoff or lead us to the national championship. We were good enough with, let's be honest, Ian Book was not a great quarterback at all. He refused to stretch the field. Refused. Man. And now you have a quarterback that will chuck it all over the field. And that is what the missing piece has been. And for once, I'd like to see the team from day one come out freaking ready to play. Not getting a false start after a damn timeout. Just stupid stuff that always seemed to plague Notre Dame at the worst time.
No, hey, man, I am with you. I am with you on all of this. And again, I said when I opened the show, you guys are on a lot of my major points of emphasis. I literally have a bullet point in my notes for today's show that says this, literally the bullet point says, this year, Notre Dame as a real quarterback. I think that changes a lot. We just need to see to what extent. All right. And I mean, dude, you're right, though. It's like Ian Book, the winningest regular game quarterback Notre Dame's ever had, undefeated season or whatever. And you knew the guy was limited as the day is long. Like, even all that he accomplished with his grit and being tough and being a fighter and trying his ass off, and I respect him for that, he was always going to be limited. And all the defenses that played us knew he was limited. We haven't seen a Notre Dame team with... Can we be able to run it and throw it? Is that allowed for Notre Dame to be able to do both?
An Ian Book bomb was 20 yards down the field. That was stretching the field. And then you switch to Jack Cohn, who was a freaking statue back there against a horrible schedule. Fast forward, nothing. And I'm not saying anything against these players. I'm not. They're just limited in capability. Or they were too scared by their offensive coordinator to take a chance, right?
But it's
I'd rather the quarterback.
It's like Drew Pine, man. Drew Pine. I love Drew Pine. He did the best he could. I'm not mad at Drew Pine. Drew Pine has physical limitations he's never going to overcome. That is not his fault. The fault is whoever thought Drew Pine should be Notre Dame's quarterback to begin with. That's the problem I had. You're 5'7" and you're not fast and you don't have a big arm. What exactly are we doing here? I don't get. The whole thing got backed up and backwards.
It goes back to what Andrew was saying about the wide receivers. There were plenty of times last year. Plenty of times, even in the Ohio State game, if they had, that Braden Lindsey was open on multiple plays, and Buckner just couldn't see him. He just could not see him. Buckner was always looking for the opposing defense so he could throw it to him to score a touchdown the opposite way. We finally have the piece to the puzzle. Now, look, if we dump a game and it's a dogfight, look, that can happen to the best of the best, right? But if we just need to show up and play this season. None of this clown quarterback bull crap that we've been seeing for the last 10 years. And you got a prima donna offensive coordinator that got gifted the job by his daddy because he has so many connections. It's time to move on from all the Brian Kelly stench.
Man, you know what? I think the biggest thing is if people are trying to balance right now how excited to be versus nervous or negative or wherever. I'm genuinely going to say this is a level of quarterbacking we are not used to. We never go into a year with this guy, with this proven body of work and experience and everything he brings. If you truly wanted a reason to be more optimistic this year and you said Sam Hartman and just left it there, that's fair. We just don't even know what it's like to maybe have a quarterback that can make all the throws and make a defense worry about it and maybe have a balanced offense. We have no idea what that's like. Notre Dame accomplished a lot under Brian Kelly with a totally limited, predictable offense. What could it be like if you could actually do it all?
I mean, you saw it in Navy last year. You saw it in Navy. I mean, dominating them. And then you come out in the second half against Navy, and you can't move the ball at all?
Yeah. 12 yards.
I mean, what are we
12
doing
yards.
here?
It was 12 yards of offense in the second half against Navy. That's what we did.
We
gave up.
That's the boy genius.
Dude, we gave up 900 yards to the fullback, which is an amateur hour mistake. And then on offense, we had 12 yards of offense and half against guys half our size. Like that was bad. Really bad.
All right, John, that's all I got. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey.
I'll try to call in a little bit more.
Hey, listen, man, I really like your call. And I like your energy. I like your vibe. I can tell it's genuine. Also, selfishly,
I've been going to games since 1978. I've been going to games since 1978. First game at 4 years old. I'm an old hand. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
And this crap it's got to move in forward momentum. There has to be forward momentum, whether we lose a game here, but it's got to be a dogfight. It's got to just not be us looking like clowns out there and having a midget quarterback that throws to the other team.
Yep. Nope. Hey, man, maybe we're trending different here now. We got a real quarterback. Maybe things will look and feel different. But hey, give me a call again, man. You got a crystal clear phone line that's good for the call quality too, man. Save the number. Call me on the post-game shows after the game and get it out, brother, okay?
All right, man.
All right, hang in there. Have a good last weekend before all the stress, okay?
Got it. You too.
Do something fun. Everybody, that's my advice. Whatever you like to do, you want to go golf, you like to fish, you want to go camping, you want to go bowling, you want to have a big cookout, drink 90 beers, go to a baseball game, do whatever you want. This is the weekend for it. Do whatever you want because it's all going to change next week. Our lives are locked in for 6 months every weekend, all right? Do something you want to do. What do we have here? It's a $20 holler from Tom Chris. What's up, John? Had a good time talking to you and Pete last week and really looking forward to the tailgate next month and the video of Pete's ND Castle. Oh, that's who it is. I'm not used to seeing this. What's up, buddy? Yeah, it was beautiful. This is a really nice couple that I met at the Sam Hartman event. And I believe they drove from Kentucky to come up for the Sam Hartman autograph signing. And then they're going to be at the Central Michigan tailgate too, man. That's what this is all about, you guys. Meeting more people, meeting more Notre Dame fans. Meet more Notre Dame fans. Meeting more Notre Dame fans. Okay? And I love it. It's building momentum. Okay? Always Irish Nation's building a little bit. Oh, boy. Let's see here. What do we got? Bruce, 646. You're in the mix. What's up, Brucey?
John, what's up, my guy?
Telling you, man, you got that voice. It's silky smooth, baby. I love that voice, man. Deep and smooth, baby. I love that down there. Hey, are you able to even think about Notre Dame down there in SEC and ACC country? What's going on down in your part of the world, bud?
Come on, man. You know what it is. It's ND first. But so let me get this out of the way, John. I've been listening to the show since the beginning. I am an Army vet. Army.
Gotcha. All
not
right.
Navy.
Man, I tried to give you
So
some service credit, man. I picked the wrong one. I'm my bad. I don't want to do that to you, but I knew you were military and I wanted to honor that. I guessed wrong. Don't hold it against me. My heart was in the right place,
well,
Bruce.
I appreciate that part, but it's go Army beat Navy all day, every day.
There you
Anyway,
go. Got it. Thank you for clarifying.
yes,
I
sir.
won't make that mistake again,
Absolutely.
sir.
Yeah, don't do that. But no, something that stuck out to me when you talked about Stanford and their attitude towards football. The difference with Stanford and Notre Dame is, as you've mentioned a number of times on your shows, Notre Dame football made Notre Dame into what it is. Football didn't make Stanford into what it is. And I think that's why they have the attitude that they have towards it.
But that Bruce, that makes sense. But they still have a financial fiduciary obligation to understand how important those TV deals are for football, even though that's not how they all got famous and whatever. They have a fiduciary obligation to keep their heads out for that because of how important it is and to avoid a situation like now where if it goes bad on you, you're screwed. And they didn't do that.
No, I get it, but I put that blame more on the conference than I do on Stanford as a program.
Yeah.
But irrelevant. As
Yeah,
long as you keep beating them up.
That may be fair. I mean, that may be fair. It just bothers me to see all these places with these geniuses in charge, and I see simple mistakes being made left and right by all these big schools. I just see really simple mistakes, but they're all geniuses, world-renowned geniuses, and every one of them's dropping a ball somewhere. It just rubs me the wrong way. If you're that smart, have a smart person all over this stuff.
I hear you on that. My last point before I get out of here, because I'm supposed to be working. But
nice. I like that. I like that. You in a closet at work? I had a guy once go in the break room. He's like, I'm not supposed to be in here. I'm hiding, but I got to yell about Notre Dame. I love it, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the Navy game, as I mentioned in my comments earlier, it really is intriguing to me. And if their OC is smart, there's no film on what he's bringing and their new head coach. So this is the time, if you're Navy, to throw in some things that no one's going to be expecting now. Obviously, you're not going to go from Navy to freaking USC, right? Because you don't have the personnel or the time, or it's not going to work. But with that said, if you're Navy, you definitely throw in some things to try and trip Notre Dame up and catch them napping.
Yep.
Now, you don't get too far away from your DNA offensively, but this is the time to do it. And with that said, on the flip side, Notre Dame should be able to do a lot offensively in this game.
Yep.
If they are what they say up front and they physically punish and get a lead early, you can start trying things out offensively in the second half or in the fourth quarter. And that's what Notre Dame should be aiming to do, to be able to actually try things out against another team in actual game action and not practice. But that's all I got.
Yeah, Bruce, those are really, really good points. And you know what? I want to ask you this. I've heard that Navy may be looking at using 2 quarterbacks. And why I find that very interesting is the Navy offense is usually predicated on precision, timing, and rhythm. And it's week 1 is tough to have all that timing and rhythm for any offense, let alone a option-based one. That could be good or bad for them, man. You're already, it's week 1 and you're trying to get your rhythm down. You're going to have a guy maybe coming in and out. And if one of them's better at passing than running, Notre Dame's going to figure out right away which one's which and then know what to look out for.
Exactly.
That's all very, very interesting to me, is how they're going to do that. And then, Bruce, the other thing is offensively for Notre Dame. I mean, Navy's undersized and they're undermanned and underathleted. What a great opportunity for those young wide receivers in Artman to develop some confidence early against an opponent where there should be plays available to you. What a great ramp up if Notre Dame uses it correctly.
Correct. I absolutely agree.
There we go, Bruce. Hey, man, I want you to enjoy your last weekend. Be with your wonderful family and cook out. Do something chilled out, because all this anxiety ramps up for real next week, baby.
Hey, yes, sir. All right. Thanks for taking my call, John. You be good, man.
Have a good one, Bruce. Thank you for sneaking away from work to call me, man. That means a lot. Anybody risking the biscuit to call me, I really appreciate it. And you guys, let me know if you like this flow a little better. I mean, we have more calls today because the season's. I feel like I'm moving through a little faster, and maybe it gives you guys a better rhythm. Let me know if you like it. I kind of like the flow. We're speeding it up a little bit, and if we could get more people, that's even better. 260. Tell me what you know.
Very little to nothing, but how are we doing this Friday, John?
Hey, at least you're honest, man. You're not BSing me. At least you're honest. Hey, man, the energy's ramping up. That's what's going on. The energy's ramping up. People are coming out of hibernation. People are getting excited. You don't know what's real. You don't know what's fake. You don't know what the realities are, and everybody's just worked up. Calm me down. Talk me off the ledge.
I don't, man. I am not a miracle worker, man. Of my life, I know there's still two things that's true. Basically, that you're gonna live and die, and there's a God, and I am not Him, essentially. So I can't get you off that ledge. But as you just alluded to, dude, it's great hearing all these voices that at seasons past are calling in. I'm starting to see the names, rack up in the chat again.
Yeah,
I love it, man. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for this channel, dude. It's great.
I really appreciate that. And you know what, man? I underestimate the amount of people on Twitter and here, which are my main two avenues, the amount of people that just leave all of this after the last game. And I get all the messages and they go, John, I'm leaving. I'll be back the week before the first game. They drop off. They're gone all summer. No Twitter, no YouTube, no nothing. And then we get into late summer and the names all come back. It's beautiful, man. Welcome back.
It really is. And so I'm not a Twitter person. I mean, if Dante had an 8th level of hell, I figured that's what Twitter is. But anyways, no, as you stated, I love seeing the fact that people are back. I love it, man. I'm excited for you, especially after that first game after Notre Dame beats Navy, seeing these super chats roll in for you and seeing how that call and live show goes. Man, that's going to be an adventure, dude. I can't wait.
I don't know. It's going to be something, but there's just our fan base is never going to be more wired than 1 minute after a game, whether it's good, bad, mad, or sad. People are going to have things to say. And you and I both know these Saturdays, a lot of these Notre Dame fans are going to be, they're going to be sipping a little something all day. And then we're going to get all the calls. And then I'm going to have another screen up so that I can monitor the other games. There's going to be other games going while I'm live. I need to have another screen to be able to see what's going on with the other games. I just think this is going to be fun, man. We got a great little family here, and we're building it.
We do, man. I always love, just sending a simple chat at the beginning, just wishing everyone a hi, to start each day. So, but you ready, man? Do you hear that? Do you hear that sound in the distance? Click, clack, click, clack. That is cleat hitting a little concrete, is walking through the tunnel, going into the stadium. And then that's where you that second pause right before you're about ready to hit the field, where everything just slows down to a stop. And then boom, the crowd explodes. And dude, it is season time, baby. And that is coming up in 8 days. It's gonna be great.
Yep, it is. And you know what it makes me realize? This is my first full summer doing full coverage all through the off season. And like as my primary thing. And it's making me realize how valuable each game is. Like I've all summer racking my mind all towards these 12 games, and they were so far away. And it just makes me realize how valuable they all are. And with Notre Dame's schedule, they cannot afford to take one of them for granted. Each of these 12 games needs to be treated like the gold on top of the dome that just got re-gilded.
Exactly. And so to the football, man, I'm sorry that I caused you to have a stroke last week, but I do want to circle back. So trigger warning, line takes time.
Yeah.
So let me kind of preface and explain this to you from a person who's been there and done that.
That was one of my best. That was one of my best freakouts in a while, man. I needed that. That. It was a good warm up for the year. I needed that one. That was beautiful. Yeah, that was a dandy. Go ahead.
Yeah. So look, all right. Week one mantra is this. All right. Cooked is 1 minute, but this is kind of the fact of life for the most part, is called survival. Survive. Just win the game. I don't give a damn if Notre Dame wins by 1 point or 50 against Navy. Win the game, because you do not know what you have. Okay,
Yeah.
you have to get live bullets to start to figure out what you have and what you don't. You think you know, but you really don't know. You have 2 brand new guards, and guards, oh, by the way, are very critical when it comes to pass protection, especially stunts, twists and turns and blitzes. And let me tell you this right now. I guarantee you Navy is going to blitz. I guarantee you Navy is going to stunt because that's what they did last year and completely stifled that offense. Now, I'm not talking cover 0 and sending kitchen sink every single play, because Hartman, I hope that God will eat that up.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, if Navy's going to try and do what they did last year, the second half, and bring everything they have at Pine, unlike Pine, Hartman could beat them on blitz beaters nonstop. Dump it off to Tyree, dump it off to one of the backs, and then I don't think you're going to be able to do that against him, because he's going to know where that outlet bail is.
Exactly. And so be on the lookout for blitzes coming, delayed blitzes and stunts going right after those guards.
Yeah,
they're going to test them. I guarantee it.
That's what I do too.
Okay?
You're not going to mess with the tackles. You're not going to mess with the tackles. You're going to try and confuse those guards up the middle. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. 240-pound defensive end that is going to be a captain of a submarine here in about like 3 years is not going to get around those 2 tackles.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to attack the guards. So basically, in the season, when it takes time, you're hoping by week 3 that you got this figured out. Okay, week 1, you don't know. You're trying to figure it out. Then you make the adjustments week 2, and you see how it molds. Week 3 is about the time where you should start, okay, this is the team. This is what we got, and it's just start gelling. Okay, now, as you stated, as on the rant last week, time does not mean week 8. Okay, if you are still trying to figure this out by week 8, let me tell you, you're praying that you get 6 wins to get into a bowl game. So, look, usually it takes about 3 weeks to really understand what you got there, and your team should then start gelling. So that's why going
All right.
back to
Do you want my response to that from my rant? I'm not going to yell.
Love it.
I'm not going to yell. Here's my response to that.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying as far as I can be as mad as I want about them wanting to be game ready, but it's going to take time of actual game reps to get it really to get. Okay, fine. Here's my argument then. That is why the practical reality you just brought up is a part of the reason why a lot of these ADs build schedules the way they do, building a ramp for their team into the tough games, meaning you have a few weeks of games where you should be able to handle them, to work it all out and not be perfect and still comfortably win. That is where building your schedule is very, very important. And when Notre Dame has Ohio State week 1 with a new quarterback, like, you don't have any of that, and you chose to set it up that way where it's week 1. This schedule should allow you more of that wiggle room, but it was just a bad back against the wall situation, breaking in a new quarterback at Ohio State week 1. That's about as rough a situation as you could get, unless you were going to Georgia week 1. I mean, it's about that rough, right? So practically, I get what you're saying. At least Notre Dame has a reasonable ramp to do that this year. And when you talk about game 3 being the one where you start to round into form, well, that's very interesting for Notre Dame this year, because game 3 should be their first somewhat physical test of the year. So that is beautiful timing that you're talking about that week 3, because that's the first time Notre Dame plays some bigger, more physical bodies. Yeah, I get what you're saying, man.
Right. And as you stated, I know one of your points, last week was like, Ohio State line. Why did they did? I mean, look at the offense that they ran against Notre Dame and then the other games. If they played the way that they did against Georgia in that bowl game, Notre Dame would have lost 45-17. Let's just be honest there, because I mean, again, it took time for them. So it's kind of where, if you're going to face, let's say, a Goliath, if you're a David, you kind of want to play them first off in the season, because again, they're in the same boat as you. And so that you can get them weak. And so it's like, if I'm Navy, I'm also kind of thinking like, hey, this is a great time to play Notre Dame, because they're still trying to figure all this out. Because again, there's more to the line than just blocking. Okay, how is the cadence? Where's your quarterback at? Okay, in terms of getting pressured. Because remember good old Ian Book? I mean, every single time his main receiver's covered, that dude is scrambling to the sidelines to run out of bounds to lose a yard. Okay, you got to understand, you have a scrambler, is the guy going to sit in the pocket? How is he going to go? And how is he going to play? That's a big thing with line. especially if you're going to throw the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, man. And here's what I'm thinking. If I'm Navy's new coach, and I know it's not an insult to acknowledge that there's athletic and physical differences here that are off the charts. Everybody knows that and understands that. If I'm that guy, I want to make a splash game one. I'm pulling a few tricks out thinking I could catch Notre Dame, whether it's a little, a pitch and we're all up for the run and the guy pitches it back and then throws it. Like, I'm just saying, if I'm that new guy, I know I'm going to need to get a couple breaks here, and I might try and create my own. I need Notre Dame to be ready for everything. I need Notre Dame to be ready for everything. Okay? They're going to try something, and I need you to be – I'm picturing Notre Dame falls for it. The defense sucks up to stop the run, and they throw a dumb pass to a midget over our heads, and there's nobody there, and Notre Dame looks stupid. I can picture it already, and it can't happen.
Yep. No, I hear you, man. Look, if Navy didn't run gadget plays, then there's something wrong. Now, here's something. I mean, with a game like this, you can't turn the damn ball over. Okay. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like, just do not turn the ball over, because every time you play Navy, in my mind, you got 10 possessions, and you got to score in 60% of them, with the majority of them being touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you do that, then you're going to win this game. Okay. So don't turn the ball over. And oh, by the way, special teams are going to test them as well, because special teams basically won that game last year. Ed Pine went off for the first half, but that special teams was block punts were great. So I would not be surprised, say Navy kicks an onside kick unexpectedly, maybe start the second half, something like that, where again, they're going to come out, and because when I hear two quarterbacks, that tells me you don't have one. And yes, it's Navy first week, et cetera. But that tells me that Navy probably was expecting somebody to start, someone else, and that person's not available for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't think it's ideal, especially when you're a rhythm and timing based offense. I definitely don't. That's the biggest thing that's a red flag to me. Is how predicated that offense is on that timing and the rhythm and everything being perfect and synced up. And so maybe listen, I don't know, man. But the reality is, how Notre Dame navigates this ball game is going to be a big revelation in terms of where they're starting the year from. Their confidence and competence level of, all that energy in camp was great. But if you look like a cluster against Navy, it's worthless. Like, it all has to come together. That's what I'm looking for. How put together is Notre Dame? How ready are they to pay attention to detail even week one to defend Navy? How sharp can this offense be right out of the gate? These are big questions, man, and I can't wait to find the answers.
Sets the tone, baby. It sets the tone for the season, man. So I know you got other calls and whatnot. I just, I just wanted to connect with you before the season started and what have you.
Oh, man. It's going to be
fun,
man.
Still think it's 10-2 year?
We're going to, I don't want it. I want 10-2 with leeway, one up and one down. And I want that 11-1 or better. But, I just want to, I want to be realistic. Notre Dame has not earned elite prediction confidence yet. They haven't. It's like, John, you're not a real fan if you don't pick them to go 12-0 every year. I don't live that way, bro. Like, this ain't that show. I ain't that guy that is going to pump you up just with my art, not my brain. I'm way too realistic for that. So, but listen, man, I really appreciate you're here all the time. You donate almost every single day. I really appreciate you, man. Stick around for the post-game shows. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild.
It's going to be an adventure. Now you got to give us a promise though, John. When you start getting big time, you get in that press box. All right. You do not turn to the dark side, damn it.
I know.
All right. You do not turn to the dark side. I'm just giving you shit.
I've got a lot of people that are saying that though, John. You got to be careful. You don't, go down and start watering yourself down to stay in the good graces and all that. So I'm going to walk that line of being respectful of the access, but also doing what I need to do to be true to you guys. So I'm going to try and do that.
Amen, brother.
There you go. Have a
good weekend, John. God bless. God bless you, man. It's great talking to you.
Thank you. You too, man. And again, I need everybody to relax this weekend, just like me. Captain Chill. Just relax, Oh, my God. That's funny. Oh, boy. Let's see. 309, you're on the line. What's going on?
Hey, John, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
All right. Hey, last weekend with no Notre Dame football here. We're excited.
I know, man. Go do something fun. Get your mind away from football. Go golfing, go fishing, go hiking, do a cookout, do something. Everybody needs to clear their minds because we are locked in for about the next half a year, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're ready. We're ready. I'm going to smoke a brisket that first weekend. That's my tradition. Every first game, got to smoke my brisket, have that ready. So we're looking forward to it.
I didn't know where that was headed. I didn't know where that was headed when you were like, I'm going to smoke. I was going, what's this guy doing? He's clearing his mind. I didn't know how that was going to end. Yeah, I thought you were going to say, I'm going to smoke my head off all weekend to zone out or something. I didn't know where that was headed.
No. Hey, John, I need you to reassure me of something here, though, before the season starts. I try to be an optimist, but I just don't know. I don't have the faith. I don't see where the pass rush is going to come this year.
That is going into the offseason. That was my number one question. My number one question was that defensive front. Are they going to be able to hold up against the run, against the better teams we play? And losing Foskey and all that, who do I know is going to be able to get after the quarterback? That has been my number one question bullet point since the winter in the offseason and then through spring ball. We get into camp and all the reporters are saying we have a great deep rotation and we don't worry about it. And they think they have guys that can get after it and have a good, healthy rotation. The depth's fine. The guys look bigger and more built, more muscle. I don't know what the reality is. It's still a concern to me, but they're all feeling good about it.
Yeah, and I love hearing, hey, we have these elite corners, best corners in a decade plus. Well, my concern is, okay, well, we're going to leave those corners out to dry because they can't cover for 10 seconds back there. So I'm really hoping that, we can get some coverage sacks and that Botello is who he thinks he is on a consistent basis, because if that's the case, I'm much more confident in this defense.
Yeah. And you know what else I want to know too is I want to know what is a realistic expectation of this defense to improve in year 2 of Al Golden. Just like there should be some advancement from Marcus Freeman being year 1 to year 2. I also expect some improvement of this defense being around Al Golden for 2 years and for him to change some things that didn't go our way or go great last year. The third down defense wasn't as good as I wanted. The blitz schemes weren't nearly what I need them to be result-wise. And Notre Dame was dead last in defending the red zone. Of 130 teams, we were dead last year. That all has to change. And it doesn't have to change much for it to get much better. But I want to know that. How much better can we see from year 1 to year 2 in this defense?
Yeah, exactly. And you have to think that part of that is just a transition, from, a couple years ago, we had Clark Lee's bend but don't break defense. Then we had 1 year Freeman, and then we had 1 year Golden. So you have to hope that, year 2 in the system, things are going to improve. But I can't get that out of my head that we have these elite corners that I hope we just don't hang out to dry with no pass rush. I mean, for everything Botello is, we don't know. He's not proven, and he also just doesn't seem like a consistent, pass rush, somebody you can rely on, like an Aquara back in the day, or a Kareem, or a Hayes, or somebody like that. So I don't know. I'm just skeptical. I'm hoping that Mills really flips a switch and we can get that inside pass rush. But I would hate to see us waste, 2 elite corners like Art and Morrison.
Yeah. Nope. Hey, man, I'm with you. It's just so many of these things. There should be some natural development or movement on. I just don't know how to measure it yet. And I can't count on things I haven't seen yet. I'm not trying to be negative, but I can't count on our defense being great just because the beat writers think it when we're playing against ourselves in T-shirts in practice. I can't live that way. You got to prove it, and I got to see it. Guys got to be dudes this year. And here's the biggest thing about this. for Notre Dame to reach their goals or exceed, whatever people think they're going to be this year. The guys that we know are proven need to play the way we know they can play. And then we need a few guys on each side of the ball to emerge. Guys that are just names now need to be dudes by the end of the summer. That's how Notre Dame really gets where we want them, is the guys we know are good are going to do their thing. And then we need a few surprises on each side of the ball. That's what I think we need.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope my second point I was going to talk to you about kind of ties into that. I want to see, what's Snead going to do this year? What do you think about Snead? Is he going to be a package guy?
I think they know right now his best usage might be certain downs and packages where you could cut him loose and he doesn't have to think too much and analyze too much, but more like shot out of a rocket, on a third down pass play off the edge and he'll go hit you. I've heard he's been making huge hits in practice. It's just a matter of, is he in the right position to make those hits? I suspect he's going to be put in there where he doesn't have to think a lot and he can go attack. I think that is going to be his best use for where he's at in his development right now. And combining that with how good the staff feels about the veteran linebackers. The fans have mixed reviews on them, but the staff believes in them. So I think he will be a kind of a blitz, shot out of a rocket, specific situation type guy mostly.
Yeah. And hopefully this is a springboard to, the next couple of years, because you want to see, we don't get these 5-star freak athletes like this. We need them to hit. They can't just be package guys who come in for third down and do this and do that. They need to be the Jalen Smith types. We need to hit on these type of players.
Yep. And you know what I do think though, man, I think we're starting to see that blue chip ratio pay off. And what I mean by that is there are a lot more younger guys that are either freshmen or in year 2 that are physically ready to compete for jobs and mess up that depth chart and everything. That is a big deal. And I think Notre Dame's starting to see some of that come through where there's more guys that can compete early and younger. And that is a great sign.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I hope we're right, and I hope this defense really takes a step forward, because I have all the faith in the offense right now, and it's just nice to know that all that we just discussed, even in our back pocket, we've got a veteran QB like Hartman leading the way. So.
Yep, it'll be good, man. It'll be good. So relax, do something you like to do, get your mind off football for one more weekend, and then we'll all ramp it up together next week. Hey, thanks for touching base, man. It's been a while. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you.
Have a good one. Oh, man. I love talking to the people. What are you guys doing in the chat? I'm trying to pay attention. I don't know what you guys are doing. Are you guys calling each other names? What are you guys doing? Going at each other? Oh, man. 575, make it come alive. What's going on?
Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm getting worked up. That's how I'm doing. I'm getting worked up. I admit it. I'm not going to try and hide it. I'm getting worked up. I'm just telling you.
Yes, cool. You know what? I've been, sitting here listening to everybody and with how everybody's, being optimistic, their opinions and everything. I'm going to give a little story. I have been a Notre Dame fan since the 70s. And first game of the season, I remember back in the day growing up, before the game came on TV, a group of us would go out, the kids, we'd go out, play football, we'd get into a game right before the real game started. Then once we finished our game outside, we'd go back inside, watch the game, come back out, it was a good game, and going back and forth trying to emulate our players that we just watched. And, and I guess I'm being geeky. It is the innocence of what made me not only a fan, but why was it imprinted on me? And it was those young men, those kids that are turning into young men and developing, with that helmet on, with that ND, and representing Notre Dame, and going out there and trying to to be the best that they can be for the university. I completely admire it, respect it, and it's just something I reminisce on a lot.
Yeah.
But for this year and moving forward, the coaching staff has to get these players in position to succeed. Some players are just late bloomers. Some are ready to get into action right now, but they have to find that proper combination, for progression throughout the season, development throughout the season, to get them to play, during those games, to get them to play to progress to be the best. So, they're saying what folks going to be doing, for this weekend, before the game and all that. That's kind of the things I'm thinking about. Thinking about when I was a kid, doing all that stuff, and just trying to, be in the players' minds. Say, hey, it's a game. Hopefully they can enjoy, they learn, they compete, they appreciate. But the bottom line up front is that coaching staff needs to have them ready to play.
Yeah.
That's their job. Coaching staff's job.
And that is one of the big themes that I've had. You know what? It reminds me of by the way, your intro, the Florida State 93 intro, a game dreamed of just around the corner from Main Street. That's what your story reminds me of. Like that whole romanticism and the buildup and the innocent nature of this combat sport that we love, like all of it. I got goosebumps just thinking about it, but that's where your story brought me back to. But what I was going to say is, I'm really interested to see how much we can learn about Marcus Freeman's development from year one, learning it all on the fly, to year two, refining his approach, refining and adjusting his messaging, figuring out how to push the right buttons to get the most out of these guys, how to have them in the mind frame to think about the here and the now and the big picture, like all of that. And so it's on Freeman and the staff. And I also think it's on the player leadership. It's on those captains, either in name or action, to make sure everybody's ready to go here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, I am from South Bend. And so Notre Dame has always been our backdrop for everything. So even before the 93 game, we were doing that back during 76, 77. That was our thing, you know. But but it's like you said, it's important. I honestly think that with Freeman and with the enthusiasm that I see that the coach is having and what's rubbing off, there's that it factor, and to have that it factor to where it's like, I want to run through the wall for that guy, because I know he would do the same thing if he was out there with us. That is so profound to where you can pull that a little bit extra out of the players. You don't want to let the coach down, because he's putting forth 100%. I need to give him everything because I know he would do the same for me. So hopefully that can translate, not only with the play, but with that passion and the affection and tenacity, there and hey, we're thing. That's our coach. We're a team. We're the needs.
Dude, I don't know what happened to him. His call was like in a tunnel. Bro, I did not hang up with you. I promise. You were like turned into a robot. It was like, go Ira. It sounded like you were in a tunnel, bro. I really didn't mean to hang up on you. I promise you that. 818, let's make it great. If I could hit the right button. What's going on?
312-988-50. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen.
That's good. You're getting good, damn it. I like that. That was really good, man. That was a beauty.
John, all these people on the phone that you're talking about that come in now, and oh God, it's great to hear. Not only do we have that, we have the voice of Marvin Gaye, literally calling from the pearly gates a few calls ago. That was wonderful.
Dude,
I love hearing that.
I love his voice, man. He has got a silky smooth voice, man. He could sell you some Victoria's Secret or something with that voice. I like it, man.
I'm telling you, man, let's listen to a romance novel with that guy narrating.
Yeah, man.
That was great, man.
Yeah, it was good. Hey, man. Hey, listen, I haven't talked to you for a little bit. I think you've been busy and been out and about. And I need to know, I know the way you think and worry about Notre Dame. I really want to know where your mind is at on the final weekend before this actually gets going. What do you think?
I know, man. I have, listen, literally the last several shows, one of two things have been the case. Either I've been working at the exact time the show starts, or for the last several days, my phone shattered when I was at an amusement park, and when it was upside down, the phone falls, hits the concrete, shatters my phone in a million pieces. That's a good thing, John. That's a good thing because it forced me. How do I sound, by the way?
Good. No, you sound good. Yeah, it figures. Of all these years, the best you sound is after you shattered your phone into 900 pieces.
Well, yeah, because that forced me to get a new phone, man. So this is a new phone you're hearing me on.
You are crystal clear.
So, that is freaking wonderful to hear. Wonderful to hear. All right. So, number 13 in the country. I think that's, John, we were number 13 in 1988 as the preseason, our preseason ranking. I remember that distinctly.
Interesting.
I think Michigan was number 2. If I'm not mistaken, I think Michigan was number 2 that year to start, because that was the game that we won that got us going, and obviously got the national title. So that's a good number. 13's a good number, man, because that's far enough out of the radar where we're not getting talked about with the top, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams, but not so low that you gotta, win a whole bunch to even get up into that upper echelon. So I think that's perfect. I love that we're number 13.
Here's the other thing, and I wrote about this as well this week. And I was saying, this is a Notre Dame schedule where you don't need to beg for any credibility or for people to see value in what you do. The schedule for Notre Dame's, unlike Kelly's last year, this schedule speaks for itself. And Notre Dame's going to end up ranked where they deserve to be ranked based off the merit of that schedule. And I like that. It takes the control away from the committee. It's in Notre Dame's hands to do what they need to do against these teams. All right? So get it done and earn where you want to be.
Mike Golick, senior, who is not a rose-colored Notre Dame glasses guy. I mean, he's always been pretty honest about his assessment of the team. Predicted us to go 11-1, this year and to get into the playoffs. So that was kind of cool to hear someone like that. I mean, we're going to know in just a week kind of where we start, and then we'll see where we go from there. But it's just great, man. Like you said, man, I'm feeling more of that fall feeling in the air, crisp nights, sun going down a little sooner. Yep. I'm all here for it, man. Can't wait for the tailgate on the 16th. Looking forward to that. Man, I'm telling you, the biggest question mark I had on this team, really, even more so than the wide receivers, is that defensive line. I'm hearing a lot of good things, but again, you just wonder how much of that. Though, they're going against what should be a top 10, and that's probably putting it pretty modestly, offensive line. So, what do we take from that? I think that there's a little bit of a chip on these guys' shoulder, man, because that defense, it was better than average, John, but it wasn't what we're used to in the past. I think the defense may be a lot better than we realize. You got to understand, people talk about the linebackers. Some people are very high on them. Some people aren't as much. I'm talking about the starting 3. But if you look at the whole group, there is a lot of talent on there and experience. I'm actually very encouraged by that. Obviously, we have a wonderful corner tandem. I think we have a better than what we think at safety. Here's what I think, John. I don't know that the wide receivers are going to pop. I think we're going to be very frustrated with the wide receivers the first 2-3 weeks of the season. I think we're going to be looking for a lot more but I think they're going to get really good as the year goes on. And I think by midway, right around USC throughout, I think they're gonna be really, really good. But we're gonna have to really lean on that running game early on. And I just hope Estime's up for it, man, because he's going to be getting a lot of carries.
Yeah.
A lot of carries.
Yeah, he's going to be getting a lot of carries. I will say this. Most of the offseason, you have felt pretty good about that defense, a little better than I think I did. And the reports out of camp were very positive, but I got to see it to believe it, man. I've been burned too much. I got to see it to believe it. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. But I think if there's one thing, we've been known for the past, decade or so, it's very, with a couple of years not to be mentioned, it's very, very good defensive play. I mean, actually more than that. I mean, if you go back to, 2000, I'd say around 2012, with the national title year through now, with those, BG years notwithstanding, there's been a lot of very good defensive play. And even last year, we were terrible. Now, you said we were dead last. I thought we were second to last. Now, have you reevaluated? We're dead last in red zone defense?
If we were only 129th out of 130, then I guess I have to rescind my complaint. Yeah, I'll just take it back. And then wait, let me give you this. I want to bring this up before I forget this. You were talking about our ranking, and you're like in a spot where you can move up if you're meant to move up. You don't have to overcome 25 teams or whatever. Let me bring this up. Of the 12 teams in front of Notre Dame, half of them will be starting either very inexperienced or totally brand new starting quarterbacks. I'm telling you, they're not all going to hit. It is a statistical impossibility that all those guys play good and don't make rookie mistakes or anything. Some of those teams with great rosters are going to struggle a little bit because of those inexperienced quarterbacks. That provides a big opportunity for a team with a sixth-year guy to move right up. There is going to be some movement.
John, what's so interesting about this, have we really ever I'm sure there was a couple of guys last year that maybe were under the radar. Maybe there's somebody I'm forgetting that was at the top of the heap. I don't know. But have we ever really seen a sixth-year quarterback? I don't just mean Notre Dame, I mean anywhere. That
was it Chris Winkie? Was it Chris Winkie or whatever on his 8th or 9th year of college? Wasn't that the guy Winkie who was an 8-year college player or something?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think he had. I can't remember his situation, but I want to say he was. I don't remember, but yes, I do remember them bringing that. Okay, so there you go. Way back to Chris Winkie. That's the last time. And what happened to him? He was. He didn't win the Heisman, right? But he was definitely in that room at the end of the year, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. He got. I don't know. Yeah, but I don't. So I just think
it's just going to be really interesting. It's just going to be really interesting to see a guy of this level of experience, not even a fifth-year senior, a sixth-year guy.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, John, 6 of those teams, you're right. I went through them all. It's yeah, man, there's a lot of question marks for some of those teams, and they're putting a lot of faith in the rest of, the supporting cast, if you will, to lift those teams up.
I just think that quarterback's so important, and some of these guys are going to make a couple game-changing mistakes, and it's a weird dynamic, man, when you have Alabama and they have a new quarterback. Georgia has all the talent. They have a new quarterback. There's just Ohio State. There's just some unfamiliar instability here. Clemson. All those teams are going to have new quarterbacks. I don't know, man. So all Notre Dame needs to do is just take care of their business.
What about all these? I shouldn't even say it like this because I have nothing against Buckner at all. But what about all the reports that he's batting third right now in that quarterback rotation?
Yeah, I have. The latest I heard is that he was running in last place in that race. And then I have to ask, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I have to ask, what is the benefit for him to do this and be the third string guy? Is it just that it's not at Notre Dame and you got out of here because you were frustrated? How does that benefit him?
Yeah, especially when that's a pretty young quarterback room. It's not like there are, at least that's what I know of, that the 2 guys that are above him are, seniors or whatever, where he could still have a shot next year. That's just, that's too bad. I do wish him luck, man. I really do. But I don't know. I don't have a lot more to say, John, other than I'm just so excited, man. I can't wait for next Saturday, and and then just just keep this thing going, man.
Hey, man.
It's like,
I want you to relax, have a good weekend. I don't know if you're working or what you have going on, but I want you to be able to relax, clear your mind a little bit, and get ready for it too. Because once we start, it's going all the way through the new year, baby.
yeah, man, I took off every Saturday this year for this reason, and also to call in. I'll pick up a couple shifts here and there, as we go along. But yeah, man, I'm there with you. I can't wait for the tailgate on the 16th, and go Irish.
I know, man. It's going to be interesting. Hey, I'll text you some additional information about the tailgate. I'm figuring out some final details. I'll be in touch. Okay, man.
You got it, buddy.
Beautiful.
Take care, bud.
Have a good one. Oh, man, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. 707 and then 618. That's going to be it today. What's going on, 707?
Hey, what's up, John?
Ah, man, I'm wound a little tight. Can you tell? I'm just wound just a little bit. I'm just wound a little tight. I don't know what else to say, man.
Well, the thing is, we got 1 week, like a week from today, you're going to have a show for right before the game.
Yeah.
Friday night.
It's just, I'm ready, man. I am so ready. I have thought my way inside and out, backwards and forward with this team. We're just at the point where we need to see it.
Yeah, and it's here. So, but I wanted to warn you, I don't think you should have like huge expectations for game one. You always hear that game 1 to game 2, that's where you'll start to see what this team truly is.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to get all disappointed or overjoyed about this first game with Navy because, it's really not going to be, I think we're going to win and, I don't care if it's by 1 point in triple overtime because I don't think the first game really means as much as it does the second game. Like
unless you lose it. And then it means a lot. You just can't lose it. Yeah.
Right. But I just don't think that's possible. I really don't. Like last time I called you, I was concerned about every freaking game on the schedule, I think. But on this call today, as we get closer, I'm feeling more confident. And I don't know if that's because of, my background in sports and, Lou Holtz would get you all worried about stuff, but boy, come game time, he was the most confident guy there. And that's kind of like the way I played sports too. It's like you worry, you got to practice, but come game time, you are feeling good and you are feeling confident,
Yeah, Lou had those guys thinking that the other team was going to win the Super Bowl every week. He had them guys buttoned up.
Right.
He had them guys. He was pushing the buttons. He had them convinced that they had no shot. He worked their asses off in practice, and they got to Saturday, and they were saying, this is easier than our practices. That's how you know you got it going. That's how you know you got it going.
And then he'd do something like benching Audric Estime for the first game, Like he would come out and bench these superstars that we had, because they didn't follow tightly the protocol. So, it's like he was a sicko.
Yeah.
But he also had his team ready to play every week,
Yeah,
so,
it's going to be,
that's another thing we have to.
Let me bring up this Navy thing. You just said, that week 1 to week 2, you see that big jump and all that. And you're kind of saying, I wouldn't be surprised if we weren't the sharpest, but found, we won the game or whatever. That's also a unique concern when you play Navy week 1 because of the way they are built to limit your possessions and eat up all the clock. That's a little concerning because if you go 3 and out or you put the ball on the ground a couple times, something dumb happens, you're not going to get as many possessions to make that up. And that is, you got to kind of take advantage when you get the ball against them because you're not going to have as many possessions.
Yeah, but you have to also be aware that this isn't the same head coach who was there for 30 years and ran the option and ground and pound. We don't know. Like this guy might have been doing a lot of off-season work with the quarterback throwing the ball. I don't know about this guy, this head coach enough yet to know that he's going to do the exact mold of his predecessor.
Yeah.
Whose name is too hard to
Coach Ken. You just call him Coach Ken. That's all. That you just call him Coach Ken. But I think, man, I just it's if Notre Dame comes out and just does what they need to do, they're going to win this game easily. That's what I really want to see. How far along is this operation of doing all you need to do to beat Navy? Informs me of exactly how far along this group is with maturity, discipline, assignments, like all of it. And I'm just trying to see how put together they are week one.
Yeah, the previous caller, he made a lot of good points, but 2 points of contention for me is he thinks that Notre Dame has a top 10 offensive line. Well, 3 of the positions, 2 of them are going to be brand new unless Kristofic starts, but I'm thinking that it's not going to be him. And then the center is a question mark. So I don't think we're really a top 10 yet. They're going to have to prove that to me. Like you say, on the defense, they're going to have to show you before you're going to be believer.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel about the offensive line too. I mean, our tackles are obviously, we don't have anything to worry about there.
Yep.
They're going to do their job, but will they be able to help, where they can when they start seeing that the middle is where people are going to be stunting and blitzing and going after the weaknesses. So, that's really one of my main concerns. And then he said, our cornerbacks are going to be wonderful or are wonderful. Well, Benjamin Morrison was great, but Cam Hart, if we were last in the red zone, very last, that's saying something about him and the linebackers, So that's my thing of concern. Like, I don't believe in Cam Hart yet. He's definitely got to show me to be much better.
Man,
much better.
You keep coming back to him. This is not the first time you made that call going, I don't know what all the hype is with that guy. I'm telling you. And the Notre Dame beat guys.
And he's the freaking captain.
But the Notre Dame beat guys are saying that's an NFL guy. He's going to play in the NFL. I heard him talking about that yesterday. So I don't know, man. It's prove it time, baby.
Well, who do you believe? I mean, who said that? When I listen to other guys talk, they're much better at writing about what happened in the game. Like these guys that are all writers that have their own podcasts now, like Krister and O'Malley and these guys, they have been for years very good at describing what transpired in the game.
Yeah.
But to hear them prognosticate, for me, it's like, God, you are way off,
Hey.
And primarily because they like Cam Hart.
Well, we're gonna find out, man. And he did have the injury stuff and his battle back and whatever. But I am hearing rave reviews about Notre Dame secondary. Everybody seems to have good things to say. Deepest corners we've had in 25 years. 4 or 5 of them you can put out there and feel good about it. Fine, tell me it, write it up. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. Well, I think we are deep. We're much better as a unit, than we've been, and I hope, maybe we will see. It'd be interesting though if Cam Hart loses his starting job as a captain.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know, man.
That would suck because.
This is just all getting to me, man. It's all getting to me. I have a laundry list of questions I want the answers to. I would really like to leave the Navy game feeling like, wow, I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule where I wanted us to be. This team had it together, shut down Navy, scored a lot on offense. We're pretty healthy. Let's keep it moving. That's really what I want it to be. I don't want it to be a heart attack. I don't want it to be a nail biter. I need to see that Notre Dame came organized and they follow their plan and they're ready to go. That would indicate to me that they're kind of ahead of schedule here for this year and they have good leadership. That's what I'm hoping to see.
Yeah. You know who I think is going to be our surprise star stepping up this year is Ramon Henderson. I think he's going to be very good at safety.
Man, and you know what
and
else,
that's what
too?
I'm hoping.
You know what else,
long,
too? You're going to need it. That's the issue back there. You're going to need it. You're going to have Watts, and then you're going to need a guy like that, and he has experience. Maybe he could take the next step, or maybe if the rest of those corners are that good, that helps those guys. But you know what I mean? Have less responsibility and be able to. I don't know, but that's secondary. I'm not used to people writing and saying, "Oh, Notre Dame's secondary is awesome." Wait a minute. Hold on. Not so fast, my friend. You gotta prove that one.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Cam Hart's my problem, but other than that, I think our secondary is going to be really good. And I think the main thing, you talk about a laundry list of concerns and thoughts that you have. I think that the very top of my list of the laundry list is our offensive coordinator. We don't know anything about him, and we just have to wait and see the kind of, in-game decision making that he's got. Does he have it or not?
Yeah. So I don't know, my friend. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. I would like you to relax and have a good weekend away from football, whatever your hobby is, man. If you like to go on a bank robbing spree or cook out or golf or fish, I don't care what you pick, but do something non-football related the last weekend. It'll do you good because your mind's going to be messed up for about the next half a year. All right. Enjoy this weekend.
In theory, that's genius.
Yeah, I know. It's just hard to make work. You can't turn that switch off. It just doesn't turn off. You can't just flick it and it's off.
No, it's gearing up.
I know.
It's gearing up.
I know. Blunt it, deflect it a little bit. I want people to enjoy the last weekend before the stress, man. But it's going to be interesting, and I can't wait to see how it goes.
All righty. Sounds good.
Have a good weekend.
All right, John.
And then we'll hear from Dr. John next week, too. That'll be the big Friday event next week. Dr. John will call from an Ireland pub and give us the live report. I can't wait.
Or from the 8th hole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd probably do that one. 4. Oh, man. This is going to be interesting, man. Thanks for the call. Have a good weekend. I mean it. Relax, damn it.
Okay, thank you. And God bless you and all Notre Dame fans, and go Irish.
Oh, I like this, man. You could just feel the energy. 618, last caller of the day. My main man. What's going on? He fell asleep. My man is asleep. You can hear him breathing. This is the best final call ever. You hear him? This is Newt Rockney of Ghosts Past. Wake up and talk to John. Ooh. I'm not dreaming. You can hear him snore. Listen, you can hear it. This is the ghost of Frank Leahy. We are going to win the championship. Woo! 618, wake up! We just lost to Navy. Wake up! I'm having way too much fun with this one right now. Oh my God. Yeah, Pat says, John, your show must be pretty boring if you're putting people to sleep. I will give him credit for this. He's been on hold an hour and a half, so the guy probably did just zone out and go to sleep. Oh my God, that's a riot. That is absolutely, yeah, Pat, he's been on hold for like hours. I can't figure it out how to speed up the show and do 20 things at once. All right. That's it. He's asleep, hanging up. That's going to be it, you guys. That was hilarious. Yeah, he's been on hold since Wednesday for sure. Here's the deal. We're here, you guys, and the energy's building. I could feel it from you guys. It's really energizing me to see the new people come back, new names that joined I never even seen before, ones I remember from last year. Everybody's coming back in this. And here's what I'm going to say about this year and this show, especially with the emergence of the Saturday night show and the group we have there and the regular callers to that show and Pat being with me and all of that vibe and energy. This family we have here is building. This Always Irish thing and in our group, it is building, and it is a nice group. And We're going to build that. And this is going to be a good year. We're all in this together. It's Notre Dame versus the world. And whatever happens, good, bad, mad, or sad, we're all going to be in it together. Oh, Pat asked about this Saturday night. Cannot do it. Can't do it. It's my daughter's 3rd birthday. So we're having a big party. Family's coming over, going in the pool, cooking out, whatever we're doing. And it's just not going to work. Yeah. So, I mean, I could probably push it, but there's cleanup. And if people stay late, not going to be the best environment. And I mean, geez, it's let my daughter have a day. We got the bounce house coming and all this, and all of that. So, we're not going to go live. I would like to be at my daughter's birthday party. However, we're going to miss that Saturday. I'll do extra live shows next week to get caught up. It's the first game of the year. So I will probably go live on other nights next week just because I'm going to have all this energy built in. I may as well go live. And do that. So we will make up that show sometime when we get in the week, have a night show to make up for it. And then we get into the game and we'll do all that. So that's what Mark with glasses says, rain check that B-Day party, bro. Yeah, I'll just tell my 3-year-old, that frozen bounce house, you're not go in it all day. Dad won't be here, but do whatever you want to do. But it'll be good to see family and do all that. And I'm just glad she was born when she did. So it's always going to be the week before the game and not of the first game every year. Thank God for that. All right, you guys. This show had the best energy I've felt in a very, very, very long time. Like, you can't manufacture fake intensity. And we're close enough to the season now. It's genuinely ramping up in everybody, not just me being a psycho. Everybody, you could feel it. And it's beautiful. We're all in this together. And good, bad, mad, or sad, we're all going to ride it together. It's Notre Dame versus everybody. One win at a time, 1 week at a time. Love you guys. Have a good weekend. I mean it. Get away from football. Go golf. Do whatever you're going to do. Sunday, I'm going to be at the BMW Championship at Olympia Fields. That's what I'm doing. Getting away from the football. And I'm going to go watch some pro golf. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Look on TV. I might be on TV. So, we're going to be doing that. So that's what I'm going to do. See you guys later. Oh, I got stuff coming to pump you up over the weekend. Stay tuned. Have a good one. Love you guys, man. A lot of energy.